pieces. This is probably one of my favorite ones. It's basically your base 10 blocks, but you can use them for a lot of different things. You have basically a white canvas, so if you wanted to do a screen record, you could do that. And what Greg was talking about at the beginning, you can now do those screen recordings in Flipgrid if you are using Flipgrid. So the nice thing about the base 10 blocks is when you pull them out, if you're using hands-on manipulatives, you can't break those apart, but online we can break those apart by just clicking on this break pieces, and I can now move those base 10 blocks around if I need to. So kind of nice. I can also circle, just kind of drag. I hold my finger, I click and hold down and create a circle, and then I can put those back together as well. So the base 10 blocks are really nice. I can minimize or zoom in, so I can add some more if I wanted to. And just kind of go from there, create the problem, the task. Again, with that sharing feature, you can create the problem for the students and share this out. I'm going to go through just kind of how I would set this up with my class and how I can get that in Google Classroom. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through that. So in Google, I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And in Google Drive, I just created a folder called Math Templates. So I'm just going to go to New, and I'm going to go down to Google Drive or Google Slides. Instead of creating a new Google slide, I'm going to click on this little arrow there, and I'm going to click from a template. We created a math template that we've been using in the Nebo School District. So here's our Nebo School District templates. There's already a couple on there. Down below, we have this math template slide that I'm going to use. So I just click on that one, and it will load. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to close the themes over there. It basically, you could set this up two ways. You could have this as a collaborative slide where you want all of your students working on the same Google slide, or you could set this up as some practice problems that you want your students to complete and turn in. So here is what the template looks like. Basically, insert a screenshot. The kids could put their name on it. So again, if you're using Google Classroom and you're creating maybe 10 problems that you want them to do, you would set this up a little bit differently and maybe just have the kids type in their name right there. But if you're using this as a collaborative slide, it makes it nice to kind of go down there and the kids can put in their name so you know whose work you're seeing and so forth. So here's how I would set it up. I have my math template. I'm going to go back to the Math Learning Center, and I'm going to create this task for them. Now, the reason why I'm pulling out the blocks for them is maybe maybe this is a division problem, and I want them to do 112 divided by 4. Well, that's 122. So I'm going to go ahead and delete. So I want 112 divided by 4. So I'm going to create the task. I'm going to add in my problem. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to drag it over here. And then I'm going to add a line underneath it. So a straight line. That way it gives the kids an idea of where you want them to complete the task. So 112 divided by 4. I already pulled out the blocks for them because in this task, I don't necessarily need them to pull out the task or the blocks because I'm not really focused on that. That's not my learning objective. is to have them plot the block. So if I can already have it pre-made, already created for them, now I can go and get the shareable link. So I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to go back to my Google slide, and I'm going to add a text box. And I'm just going to type in the problem, 112 divided by 4 equals, and I can make this bigger by holding down Control Shift and the period, and just kind of make it as big as I need it to be. And then I'm going to add it as a hyperlink. So there's my first problem. Now I'm just going, if I'm doing this as a practice slide, I'm just going to click on the plus button, go back to the number pieces. I'm going to restart. Maybe I'm just going to do something simple, 24. So the same thing, maybe they're just practicing some division problems. So 24 divided by 6 equals, I'm going to go ahead and click done. I'm going to drag that up, make it bigger. I'm just going to add a line. I add the line just so the kids can drag their stuff underneath the line, just so they, okay, there's my workspace down here that I can pull those blocks down and add that. So again, copy the link. Each link is going to be unique. I come back here, I add a text box. Type in my numbers, 24 divided by 6 equals. Control Shift, I can make it bigger. I gotta highlight it first. Make it the size I want. And then I'm going to add that link in again. Control V will paste it. So I have just a couple problems that I want my students to do. So